Hey guys, welcome to Spiritually Minded Business. Thank you for watching. I just kind of stabbed myself in the eye. You'll have to forgive me. I'm going to be looking a little crazy for a second. Thank you for watching. I just kind of stabbed myself in the eye. You'll have to forgive me. I thought I got used to that and fixing that before that happened. My bad. How are you guys doing tonight? So this is kind of impromptu again. So I don't know how many of you caught my little post to tell y'all I was jumping on, but if you're here, you're here. If not, you're watching the replay. Thanks for watching. But I'm really gonna continue talking about some stuff that I started last week because I've gotten more questions and more things to cover about it. Last week was about strong Black women, polygamy, and polygyny. Got my cat looking out for me. And so you'll just have to go watch that one. I talked about some good stuff. So catch that if you want to kind of figure out where this is coming from. But I'm just going to jump on to the other end or the other aspect of it, which is weak Black men, polygamy, and polyandry. I'm also going to talk about the full moon tomorrow so that you guys can learn a little bit about it and maybe use the full moon. But mostly, so to start off, right? Why did I title it Weak Black Men? Okay, because we talk about strong Black women all the time. And we talk about it in a sense as if it's the opposite of what a woman is or represents. We talk about it as strong Black women as the masculine type or the alpha female type, as opposed to what I consider strong Black women who are very feminine and strong even for their family and, you know, what they may endure. So I don't see it based on just personality at all. It's definitely much more to being a strong Black woman than career driven or single. And I think sometimes those are associated with that. So this week, I'm going to talk about the other aspect, which is weak Black men, which is all the men that the strong Black women don't see or want to date, or because they're looking for a strong Black man. There's some validity to that, right? Men, at least today, a lot of them have been overly feminized or emasculated. And then, you know, the rise of homosexuality being more open, because it's existed for forever, but that being a more open thing leads us to conversations in a space where what was traditional, what was normal for us no longer is. And then it goes into the space of family building, relationships, and all the things we've been talking about with the types of different dynamics of polygamy. Polygyny being one that I'm a fan of and talked about in the last video. Polyandry is what came up as a question, which is one wife with more than one husband. So 2 or more husbands and 1 woman. So I barely touched on that, so I'll touch on it a little more this time. In fact, I'll start there. I'll start there because it leads right into weak Black men, unfortunately. But just looking at the dynamic, even in nature, other animals, what happens when you put several men or several masculine energies together. It's almost the same thing for strong, overly masculine women. You put them all together and they're all great independently. They don't want to work together, which is also not a good thing, right? There's no balance. The point is anything unbalanced doesn't really work. So of course, people will say, well, how does polygyny have balance if it's more than 1 woman? Well, remember guys, balance is more than just you. Balance is the universe. Balance is the entire cosmic system. So it's about where we are as a people today, where we are in relation to all the other species on this planet and where the planet is. So when we look at mankind bringing a whole large rush of masculine energy, work, building, you know, tearing things down, being very destructive to the planet, what's needed now is a feminine energy, which is highly nurturing and caring and replenishing and rebirthing and really diving and going through your darkness to come out into the light, to embrace your best, highest self, your feminine side. So, and that's like as a planet, right? So every single human being has a feminine and a masculine energy. So our men have that too, and they're also impacted by the energy, right? But some are better than women, and too many women are more masculine than men, and we're just all out of whack because society has driven us this way. There's a lot of things that play a part to this. For our community, for Black people in particular, you know, our ancestors, our Black men were severely raped just like the women in front of their families, stolen from their families, you know, basically demoralized and emasculated in ways that will never, you don't have to have been born in that time to be impacted by something like that. You know, it's scientists and studies already show that it is in the DNA, that, you know, memories and things of our past are stored. Fears, psychological damages, those things get passed on. You know, when you're in the womb of your mother, if she, you know, had a traumatic pregnancy with you, you're impacted by that. So we birth the results that are here today, is the point, because of our past choices and wrongs and rights. And so part of our healing and our growth is healing that as a people, is understanding relationships, going to those dark places, talking about those desires that we have that may not be natural, and really surfacing them, not ignoring them or suppressing them. That is just another way to suppress your soul and to steer you away from true healing. So, yeah. So for polyandry in today's time, we're not in a shortage of women. That was one of the reasons it was created. I'm talking, Princy. That was one of the reasons it was created, because yeah, there was just a time where they actually needed to repopulate homes together, and there might be, you know, one woman who's more fertile, or if a wife couldn't have children, like there's just different things that today's society wouldn't support this. Not to mention, because we're so unbalanced already, it wouldn't take very long before men in that situation became either, you know, focused on other people, or they just become into each other. There's like a lot of unnatural dynamics there of energy that doesn't support it. You can have too much masculine energy, but masculine is stronger in a sense than feminine, so it can balance a lot of feminine energy. You ever, like, it's the concept of it, nothing changing. You have a bunch of women, but as soon as a man comes into the room, it changes the energy, right? Now, you could say that for a bunch of men in a room that a woman works in, maybe out of taught societal nature that, oh, it changes. But really, the true nature is that energy wouldn't change, men or men. And men can interrupt the high vibrations of women when we all come together. So there's some things that are tied to spiritual growth that you start to find the beauty. So when you are balanced and you're dealing with your feminine side, coming together with other women is really, really powerful. Okay. And so that is a lot embedded in polygyny anyways. It's about the soul growth and why you came here and your purpose. So for part of growth and spirituality, now I'm going to shove it to tomorrow's full moon. You know, the full moon serves as a good time for rebirth, for letting go, for shedding. You know, we're about to enter into spring. This is called the full worm moon because the soil starts to soften and like worm casts start to come up and the robins come out, and it's about to be harvesting time. So there's some good times this month to start planting seeds. But the next new moon would be perfect for new things that you want to start. The full moon is going to be things that you want to like finish up, you know, or complete or unearth or get rid of. If there's energies, things you want to get rid of, there's ways to do it. You know, I like to explain why it works. Some people like the science behind it. Magic is really another word for we don't understand how it works, but somehow it just happens. Magic is real and it always has explanations, just somebody didn't explain it and how it works. It's energy, it's working with elements. It's almost like chemistry. So yeah, it's nothing to believe or not believe. It is. It is science, it's physics, it's energy, it exists. Can't be created or nor destroyed. So it's working with what's already there and, you know, assisting to move energy because we block ourselves. We're constantly distracted by society. You drive outside, there's a billboard, there's signs, everything is designed to distract you. So to keep focused, you know, there are things that you can practice to keep yourself aligned with yourself. You can work on your own chakras. You can work on your own clearing, your own health, your own energy. But sometimes it does get tough and you need help. And so that's what spiritual healers are here for, to help you get through blockages and move forward. But if you are just home and tomorrow and you want to do this, or tonight under the moon, write a list of, for me, I did just a list of things that you want to relinquish or let go of. Maybe things in your personality or habits you recognize that you want to be better on. Make a list and you're going to take that paper. You're going to take it under the new moon. I got to take mine anyway. Take my paper under the new moon. I'm going to read them aloud. And then I am going to burn a black candle if you have one. If not, just a lighter. And under that moon, I release it. You're taking fire and you're going to just burn it as opposed to shredding it and throwing it away, which is another technique. Use the moon's energy, connect it with fire energy. Fire, water, air, and earth. Those are the 4 elements that we work with, right? That exist and that's what formed man, forms everything. Those are the 4 elements. So we're just using that energy to help remove negative energy from us and from our lives and those around us that may carry negative energy. So I'm not going to make this one long tonight, but I definitely wanted to share that little thing with you. Don't miss it. So if you caught this was for you. Help yourself, help your situation, help your life, help move things around. Learn about this stuff. If you're intrigued, if you have questions, you can reach out to me. Email me at manifestwithchris@gmail.com. That's KRIS. So if you have questions about full moon stuff, moving, changing things in your life, all sorts of any types of life problems, things like that, please reach out to me in email or on Instagram and DM me. That's what I do. That's what I love to do, is to help you guys. I also do tarot readings. Those are a lot of fun. They can be very, very helpful. Mostly, though, I help people connect with their own spirit guides and their own ancestors and their own spirit, helping you discover your own purpose and put your gifts together, you know, and use those really well. So let me see if you guys are sending me any messages before I just realized I haven't even said hi to you guys. I see you on. Hello, hello. Thanks for watching. All right. So, okay. I want to know, do you guys have any questions about from last week about just, man, I feel like there's a little bit more to get into with the state of where our men are, and maybe I could give more to help, because one question I'm remembering is about alpha females and how men today, our conscious brothers, can basically, you know, have better relationships with our queens and vice versa, our queens with our men. And I can speak to the women. I can say from my perspective or what I see, don't be so harsh, maybe. But at the same time, you're critical for a reason. You have high standards for a reason. You are a queen. You deserve a king. You deserve to be crowned. But you have to match what you're looking for. You have to actually be giving that and be becoming that woman to attract that king. Now, you're always going to have things to work on, so you're only going to meet people where you are. So, but if you're so blindsided and so tunnel vision on being your best, I promise you're going to run smack dab into the perfect man for you, who not only uplifts you, but that you actually can look up to. Because respect is so key in relationships with Black women and Black men, you have to look up to your man. If not, you'll look up to somebody else. And if not, you'll start to try to teach him everything. So if he can't teach you, if he can't lift you up, that's why you probably challenge and keep trying. So it's important to understand these things before getting into a relationship. If you're already in them, the universe fixes things the way they need to. So keep working on you. Like, just no matter where you are, in a relationship, out of a relationship, definitely focus on you and your evolution and your growth. Everything else fixes itself, right? But also listen to your guidance system. If something is telling you this relationship is over, I need to go, or let it go so that I can move on, maybe you have a real candid conversation about how you're feeling with that person and see the response and how it goes. But be honest, be truthful. You can't be honest with the person you're with. You probably already started off wrong. And it's probably really hard to go back or fix how the momentum of the relationship is going. So, be of character, be the person you're looking for. That's what I can say. The men too, definitely. Be who you are looking for. Besides that though, okay, so I'll give my little harsh opinion on weak Black men for a second. When I think of a man knows who he is. He knows what he likes, what he doesn't like. He also knows he doesn't know everything. But he can't easily be taken away from himself, if that makes sense. So if you as a man are still seeking, still figuring out who you are, or still remembering that you're a king, you don't know you're a king, you can't get a queen yet. Or you're a knight, or you're a guard, or a servant, or somebody that the queen will rule over. Because there's only one position a queen does not rule. We've got queens that rule entire nations. They have their own following and people, but she never rules the king. And I think that's an aspect or dynamic that's either been missing or not enough acknowledged, or maybe women aren't acknowledging it enough, that they really do want a strong man, and not strong in that over aggressive type strong, but strong in that I'm not going to be easily manipulated by anybody. That's what human nature is, to test and try people to see, okay, are you going to allow, if you have self-love, you don't allow certain things, right? You don't allow people to push you around. And sometimes we don't know we're doing that. Sometimes we have to experience a lot to even realize that that's what's happening to us. So that's kind of the nature of why we're so testy, especially in dating. And it's so out of what maybe we'll fall into later, right? But truly, you want that edge, that push each other to a degree, because you don't want to be stagnant. If everything is about your evolution and your growth, the both of you will have challenges. If everything's perfect, you're in some kind of state of bliss with the rose tentacles or spectacles on, and it's going to eventually, the pendulum swings. You're going to burst your bubble, and there's reality. And so while that feels really good for a while, that type of love is supposed to be given to ourselves by ourselves. It's one thing to share it freely with those we love. But if you're not already doing that to yourself, that's how we get topsy-turvy and we get really into the other person and not so much focused on like, oh, I came here for a big purpose. It's going to impact a lot of people. Like we're like into this one person, you know? So having a balance and recognizing that there needs to be a lot of structure. You know, if there's really a purpose to your union, you're getting things done and you're still putting yourself first, and the things that were important to you before you came together remain important to you. Who you are outside of it remains important to you. You know, if that person was, you know, oh, I have to meditate every morning, it's what I've always done. That is something that, yeah, you can adapt and compromise and do stuff a little different, but at the same time, the key there is it's important for me to recharge. That person is telling you like, I need me time. It helps me be that person you love. So that's really important to keep that and to have balance in your relationships. Otherwise, you risk, being ran over. And it's really hard to go backwards or undo that if a woman loses respect for you as a man. It's really hard to go the opposite way. And likewise, if men have lost respect for you as a woman, it's really hard to gain the respect back. Not impossible, but it's almost like you just have to completely ignore that person and focus on yourself and just be the person that they maybe fell in love with once, or be the person you're supposed to be so you can fall in love with yourself. So hopefully this is helpful to you guys and you're enjoying some of this, or it's reaching somebody out there. Let's see how long it's been so far. We're doing good. All right. Well, I'm going to let this one be a short one so that I can do another one and on a different topic. All right. So leave me some comments. Let me know how you like this one. Let me know if I didn't cover something or left something out. Yeah, and I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Thanks for joining me. Bye.